It's Hannah and Pinocchio. We're here to talk about games.
Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. I go by they, them pronouns. I am a recovering ex-Mormon, previously homeschooled, current honors student at university, and hopeful future social researcher. On this channel, I share my experiences learning how to enjoy myself through playing video games as an adult in trauma recovery. I would be honored to have you along on this mission with me.
Then one day, the old man set up a small box. He plugged some cables into the television and said, "This is what I meant when I said video games."
When I began preparing for this video, I was shocked to see that it's been nearly a year since my last one. I had so much gameplay footage to go through and organize from November until now, and it was a blast to see all the cool things I've worked my way through in that time. I've completed playthroughs of Super Mario RPG, The Cruel King and the Great Hero, Cult of the Lamb, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, Little Inferno, Abzu, Itta, and Hoa on the Nintendo Switch, which has increased my confidence level and basic button mashing skills. I have progressed a ton since my most recent video, and I am excited to show you some gameplay and talk about my transformational journey through video games, personal interactions, and education. I would love to know what you've all been up to. My viewers are a quiet bunch, but please let me know what you've been playing lately. I've been out of the loop for quite some time, working hard on school, and I'm not really sure what new games have come out. When I first started this experiment of teaching myself to have fun, of trying to play games and connect with myself, it seemed a very abstract goal. As a person who has always struggled to be in the moment, playing games presents a particular challenge. And as someone who never played much as a child, with my brain, body, or otherwise, I also had poor hand-eye coordination and an apparently missing fun bone. Because I grew up in an oppressive and restrictive environment, I developed unhealthy fixations on a variety of things, but especially perfectionism. It was difficult to have fun doing anything new because it takes time to get good at those. The way I was raised led me to feel like making mistakes could very easily send me down a bad path, which inevitably would land me in hell. So there was always a lot of weight to things, even little things. It's difficult to tell whether my hypervigilance came more from my natural anxiety and neurodivergence, or as a more direct result of my indoctrination. Adding on to this, I simply did not have much opportunity to try new things. Growing up in the woods, without the chance to go to school or be in a neighborhood, and with parents who were somehow restrictive and controlling while also being hands-off and neglectful, there was not a lot of emphasis on giving me a well-rounded development. It's only now in my 30s that I'm finally learning how to take things slightly less seriously and have a little fun. For example, when I first started to play video games, it was incredibly frustrating to be up against so many seemingly unbeatable challenges. It seemed like I could barely do anything right, from looking at everything on the screen simultaneously to utilizing maps and compasses, from interpreting clues to solving puzzles, from jumping to special moves. It was all so much newness, and I was nowhere near good at it. I hated feeling like I was doing everything wrong, and it took a lot of therapy and encouragement from friends to convince me that even if I did do it wrong, it didn't matter if I was having fun. Celeste is a hard game, but for me, it seemed so out of reach that it was certainly not fun at first. In fact, the more I played it, the worse I seemed to get at it, instead of improving my understanding of the mechanics. It was only after I took my therapist's suggestion to play through a few games on easy mode, and I took the pressure off of myself, that I was able to start really having a good time. The parts I struggled with the most at the beginning were trial and error and timing. I cannot stand having to do something wrong a few times to figure out how to do it right. Executing the same moves repeatedly in differing degrees of wrongness is so frustrating. Timing jumps is hard enough on its own, but to add in new mechanisms like moving, falling, and crumbling terrain, along with spiky walls and grab meters that run out after a short period, it was too much for me to handle all at once. By playing with grab mode activated and extended, I was able to focus on timing and figuring out the puzzles in a more efficient way to minimize the number of deaths I had to endure. By adopting this tactic, I was also able to extend my bandwidth, allowing myself the freedom to explore more of the game in each sitting. It was less frustrating, and from looking at my captures timestamps, there was even a gaming session when I was on a Celeste roll for a good 2 hours straight. This is a really rare thing for me. Usually I run out of steam after about a half hour of nearly any activity. The game was still difficult, but I was learning about that good feeling that comes when you get past a tricky spot. Stacking up little wins for myself, whether by snatching strawberries or finding a B-side, was beneficial to increasing my comfort and enjoyment of not only that game, but also as I continued into others. I'm finally building a strength of character that I can bring with me as I try new things. I'm starting to create memories to reinforce the ideas that new things can be fun, even if they are scary. They can help me grow, even if they are hard, and they can show me who I am, even as they change me. I'm beginning to love those parts of playing games, the weird, unexpected things that make me pause and say, "Whoa, what the heck was that?" Or "How did I survive that?" I've been laughing a lot more and crying a lot less. Now, with how I'm talking, you might think I've been playing pretty much nonstop since my last video, which is not the case. I've been working really hard on school. Being back in college at the age of 31 is a specific brand of exhausting, but I'm really excited about it and have been making the most of every opportunity I can find. It was a huge learning curve to join the ranks of a full-blown university, especially at such a different stage of life. I sought out a bit too much my first semester back, taking a full load of classes, joining the honors program, applying for scholarships and research opportunities, and joining student organizations, planning a film festival, and more. Despite how difficult it was to keep up, I managed to get good grades, learn something important from every class, and network with a bunch of cool people from across multiple fields. I earned some funding, received a spot in a prestigious undergraduate research program, and planned out the next 2 years of my coursework while beginning preparations for graduate school. In the spring semester, I felt like I had a better handle on things, having adjusted my expectations of teachers, worked through educational trauma with my therapist and my cat, and finally hooked up with a new primary care doctor and got insurance. All this summer, I have been doing research on prison reform movements with a professor in communications, including presenting at symposiums with other scholars. The work I'm doing to better myself and learn how to integrate into society through academia has already been much more rewarding than the 15 years I spent as a cog in the capitalist machine. Not that American academia is removed from it, technically. I've been getting out of my comfort zone on a much more regular basis, even going abroad to Germany for 3 weeks. That presented a whole host of newness: sights, sounds, places, trains, planes, group travel, and accommodations, interesting foods, music, conversation in other languages, and cultural norms to get used to. I had fun and learned so much about myself, strengths I didn't know I had, confidence I didn't realize I could build, and limitations I can begin to address over time. In the future, I might consider a whole video on the experience in Germany, but for now, I'll mention that I brought my Switch Lite and played a lot of Stardew Valley to decompress from stressful situations. I'm hoping to make some more videos throughout this month before the new semester begins. I've really missed YouTube as a creative outlet and the conversations I have with other cool people here on the site. I hope you'll stop by again soon and see what else I've been playing. This was just a quick update to explain what I've been up to, and I appreciate anyone who made it to the end. I also have a lot of thoughts about the current state of the used games industry, video game content on YouTube, and games in the sphere of neurodivergence and learning models. Let me know in the comments what you're interested in hearing me talk about, or if you just want the game reviews to come back, or if you want me to get into the nitty-gritty of the changes I've experienced in my brain since I started gaming.